Okay, snow blade time. So I got a quad, I think it was 2018, and then the next 2 years later, maybe the next year, I ended up getting this open trail snow plow. And usually I put it on when the weather's so-so. Weather's going to be hitting here soon, so I figured I would do a quick video of the snow plow, and I'll probably get a snapshot of me snow plowing this week. I think we're supposed to have 7 or 8 inches coming. So I would say one thing, quads are about 4 foot wide, I think 42 inches officially. So I got a little bit wider blade specifically so I could turn it. And even though it's turned at roughly 45 degrees, maybe a little less than that, 60 degrees, 30 degrees off of center, it still is wider than the wheelbase of the quad. So you're always kind of not recompacting your snow. So though it looks wide, I leave it straight for knocking out my driveway, and then I turn it for clearing up the road. So this is it. It's got 2 friction skids. You adjust those kind of, you can see the alignment there, align with the replaceable drag blade. I've turned the drag blade over one time, maybe 3 years ago now, and I've adjusted those. Usually I adjust them in the beginning of the season. They're good for the year. As I mentioned, first step is lay the blade down on the floor. And I'm going to climb in here so you can kind of see the kind of trailing arms. Come back. And if I can slide towards this, I'm going to pull this up until it lines up to the most frontmost hole. I usually mount it in the very front. That seems to be the best for me so far. So I just have a long board here, so I can kind of lever it up pretty easily. Then with the other hand, I'm going to take this pin, which is kind of the writing pin. There's a handful of different styles. This is the one that came with, and I've been pretty happy with it. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to slide that through the hole, inside out. If that didn't make sense, this is what it looks like when you slide the pin. Like I said, a plate on one side, pivot in the middle, and a plate on the outside. And I'm just going to pull this locking clip on the top of the pin. That side is pinned for good. So do the same over on that side next. You can see the holes pretty well aligned. This was easier than it had been in the past. Getting better at it, I guess. So the second side clipped was a success. So left hand side, starboard side, you get the gist. Like I said, first hole, our most forward hole. So that's the end of the pivot point hooked to the frame. Now we just have to hook up the front. On me, for the people that don't even know what a shackle is, they're just a convenient way to hook things together with cables or kind of chains or anything. But this part here threads into the back there. So I hooked the loop through first. I took the open part of the shackle, put it through the hoop in the steel, put the pin in. Now I'm just going to tighten that with my fingers. And if everybody's screwed with this shackle before, you never tighten the shackle up very much. And when I say tighten, that's stop. I'm going to actually back it up a touch. Shackles rarely rattle loose, and if they rattle loose, it's better than if they bind. So, big picture, that's a done deal. We'll get a snapshot of me lifting it up with the winch, and I'll pull this thing off to the side of the garage, and snowplow will be ready for action. Snowplow all set up. It's pinnable, so you can pivot it. I'll probably video that in a second here, but winch is going to lift the front of the blade up. That's your elevation set, and like I said, it pivots off the center of the quad. That is it. They're very simple, but very, very effective. All right. So it'd be nice if I had somebody else to help film, but off thumb control. That's in and out for the winch, and in will be lifting right up. And out, push it down. That's all there is to it. And as I mentioned, There's this spring pull pin here. Once you lift that up, you can turn it. That's usually where I latch it. And angles of blades, you can push the snow off to the left or the right as you're going. And as I'd mentioned, the blade width is a little wider than the quad width. I think you can see that there. So that does the trick. Makes a nice little swath and move a lot of snow. I do driveway all the time, and I clean up the road every once in a while. So that's the story. That's what it looks like when it's said and done. I'll probably get a video of me moving snow later this week. If we get the snow that they said is coming in, you'll see some live action. Other than that, this is Greater Spokane signing off for the evening. I might post this, and I might